Good evening, glory, hallelujah to ya. What the heck's your story and what's going through ya? This is the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Please make no mistakes about it. This is Stray Cast. Give it up for you, Bass Galaxy. We're back. We missed you. We missed you, Bass Galaxy. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Lonely, lonely, lonely. How's that song go? You know what I'm saying. We're back, though. We had to rearrange some things. So, Taku was originally coming this week, and he got a little under the weather. So next week is Taku time, along with champ from the Mississippi River, Brian Schmidt. We got a double platter next week. Yes, sirree, Bob. Bass Galaxy. Hey, but this week, we're back into the Great Wide Opens, into the Great Wide Bass Opens, right? It's that time. The schedule's announced. 9 events next year. We're starting to get qualifiers for the elites. We're talking opens. And Brad Leuthner, old BC, he's got Alex Wetherell and Jordan Thompkins coming on tonight. Yeah. How's that? You like that? That's into the Great Wide Opens. Now, I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving the ship. I will not be the coxswain on this segment, and we're leaving it up to Brad to Brad tonight. I don't know what you think about that, Bass Galaxy, but I love it, and I know somebody else that loves it. It's Andrew Ellenberger. He's a ginger ninja. He's producing the heck out of this thing right here. See how I snuck you up right there? Chow, chow.
Hey, Patty, Bass Galaxy.
Ginge, I snuck you up on surprise.
I did.
Did you see how I did that? Opens, guys, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of horses in the race. We got a lot of buds in the opens.
That's a lot.
You know? And, like, I hope every one of my buds makes the opens. But you know what I mean, dude? Makes the elites. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Not makes the opens. I hope they all have enough money to fish the opens next year. I really do. That's on them, you know, and they should be able to.
The schedule looks cool.
Yeah, the schedule looks amazing. We're getting to that.
Very cool.
Yeah. But you know what doesn't suck besides the new schedule?
What's that?
What don't suck?
A lot of things.
Yeah. Brian New. Yeah. He's our Elite Series champ feature guest tonight. That's right. Brian New's coming on. We have Brian in our eyes, right? Yeah. Is that a thing? Brian in our eyes? Sounds like a song, doesn't it? Like a Journey song or something.
You were just singing something.
Yes. But yeah, like we actually were going to have Brian on with it was going to be a double Bryans, but we kind of rearranged things. So thank God for that. That's coming on here, Ginge, and I'm excited to hear all about the life of Brian.
Yeah.
That's a Monty Python movie.
Yes.
All right, I'm rolling down the deal here. Ginge, congratulations on your second place finish at St. Clair.
Thank you very much.
Yes, amazing job over there at the Clair. Very good. And congratulations to my buddy Eric on the W over there. Bass Cat Eric.
I almost had him.
That's my guy. I know you were right there. Right there. Speaking of local Durban, I want to say a huge congratulations to Jeff Miller. He's your CalSag Bass.com Big Lake AOY Angler of the Year. Jeff Miller's fierce. You've known Jeff Miller for a long time, Andy, and that guy, he gets along with smallmouth. Yeah, like he really does.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't know. It's amazing. And also, Pete Glusick fell in the water.
Yeah.
Give it up for Pete. We're glad he's okay. We've been gone a while. Hey, Ginge, we have a like and share contest that's going on tonight. And that is, first off, what do we got? Oh, it's Berkeley tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Berkeley like and share. So all you have to do is like and share this live Facebook feed. Take it off of privates and let it rip. And JR, old Rock and Shoal Fantasy, he's on the chat board.
Yeah.
You know, he's chatting it up, so feel free to throw your questions in at JR on the chat board, and he's going to pick a winner, randomizer. Old Andy and him are going to get it to me at the end of the show, and we're going to have a Berkeley extravaganza pack. Give it up again for Berkeley.
Yes, sir.
Boom. That's how you Bass Fishing Talk Show. Texas. Speaking of Texas, I got a call from our bud Ben Milliken. He said, Pat, are you okay? You guys haven't done a show in 2 weeks. I said, Ben, it's great. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. But I was so happy that, like, Ben Milliken even cared. You know what I mean? Doesn't it make you feel warm and fuzzy, Jen?
It does.
Yeah, it does. Hey, speaking of crazy things, how about our whack pack? We have a cool whack pack, Ginge, on this show. You know, Bassbuster 69, Rock and Shoal Fantasy himself.
Yeah.
You know, old bait shop Randy.
Fake Spence.
And guess what? Fake Spencer is now the proud owner of a Crestliner XF 189. That's not a joke. It's not a joke.
It's huge.
And guess what?
He's going to love it.
You know whose boat it is?
Who?
Brian Latimer's.
Yo, B-Lat?
That's old B-Lat's XF 189.
So he's got a nice
He's all decked out. He's ready to rip. He's got a better boat than a straight cast boat now.
Yeah, B-Lat don't mess around.
Yeah, he don't screw around, B-Lat. So congratulations, first time Bass and Boat owner
that's awesome.
to Spencer and Gambit Baits on the gram, on the old gram. Hey, Ginge, I got to tell you, it's winding down, this half a spot official thing, and it's coming to an end. There's a couple more. I don't know. It's close, but. If you have not, and we're going to have the half a spot guys on along with some half a spot winners in an upcoming show here. But if you haven't signed up for the chance to fish anywhere you want to fish with us goofballs at Stray Cast, go to the half a spot app, download it, win some derbs from the bank, from kayak, from a boat, north, south divisions, any way you want to fish. Win a few derbs, you got a chance to fish anywhere you choose. Your pickings, your likings with us at Straight Cast. Download the Half a Spot app today and Half a Spot official on the gram, right? On the gram. Moving right along, Ginge.
Yep.
You got a new pair of duds from Sims.
Yeah.
You did. You love them. And guess what? That, amongst other beautiful arrangements of threads, are now available for the fall collection, simsfishing.com.
They released some cool stuff.
Dude, it looks good. It makes us schlubs look good.
Yeah.
I have Sims board shorts on right now. I mean pants. Pants. Yes, pants. I do. Ginge, I gotta break this down. I owe a lot to the Jubes. You know what I mean? I really do. Yeah. And I've been catching so many fish on them lately that it's just ridiculous. And I've been doing crazy thing with the Jube. If you don't know what the Jube is it's a jig and a tube combination. Particularly, say that 10 times fast, particularly a New Berkeley Maxcent finesse jig, Ginge.
The finesse jig.
Yeah. All right. And the reason it works so well is the keeper on there. It really holds the tube really well. The other ingredient is this 3.5 inch. I'm trying to cut the glare on it.
Yeah, you're good.
Is that good? The 3.5 inch Berkeley Maxcent tube. I don't know if it's the weight. I don't know if it's the size, what it is. But when you combine that with the 3/8 or the quarter, I haven't messed around too much with the half on the Jubin. But, man, that thing jukes and jives.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's the Jube. Now, get this. The other thing that I've been smashing them on is that and the slobber knocker. Behind the slobber knocker. I don't know what it is about the Maxcent tube, but if it's like the weight of it, I know the scent's good, right? We know that.
Yeah.
That's a given. But the way the tentacles move behind, it's a different type of tube. It's all I can say. I drank the Kool-Aid, bud. I drank it.
You're in?
And I'm catching fish every time on it. And it's in their throat. It matters.
Yeah.
It matters. All right. Hey, anyway, enough of the Jubes. On to the rest of the deal, Ginge. I got to hope. Look at this satchel. You can tell I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got all these tubes right here. And slobber knockers and Maxcent finesse jigs. What happened, Ginge?
Nothing.
What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Give me a beat. Like, give me a bouncy C. Uh-oh! If you take your whiskey home, it's a nice, safe place for it. And speaking of nice, safe places, it looks like he's in prison right now. He's taking his, he's in his mugshot line. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tin Cup Whiskey, it's Luke Foley. He's a whiskey gypsy. Yes, where the heck are you? What's going on?
What's going on? I'm doing a tequila dinner tonight. And, I stepped into the foyer to do this.
You're always doing something, Foles.
It seems like that. Last time I was partying with the Wu-Tang Clan and Nas.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing the tequila dinner. So, you just never know where I'm going to be.
How did that work out, the party with Wu-Tang Clan and Nas?
I was up pretty late.
You guys, did you go down? Was it crazy, dude? I almost said something I shouldn't have. Did you?
I didn't get to meet him.
Okay.
I'd like to tell you something super cool, but no, I didn't get to meet him. Me and Courtney were going to hang out at the bar because it's this beautiful hotel, and there's a bar restaurant that's connected to it where they were staying, and I'm like, we ought to hang out and see if we can talk to them, blah, blah. They're going to get something to eat and drink. But I had 4 10-cup old fashions. It was 9:45. It was time for me to go to bed.
You were time to hit the satchel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it, bud? Hey.
Yeah, it was time for me to go to bed.
I got to ask you this. A lot of people been asking me, and when I say a lot of people, I mean my neighbor asked me this. Where do I get these tin cups that I'm always drinking my coffee out of? And I told him, you just go to the Tin Cup swag site. Right, Foles?
Yeah.
Ain't
we
it?
got a bunch of merch on there.
Yeah, Tin Cup merch site.
Yeah, we got a bunch of merch on there. Yeah. Just go to tincupwhiskey.com. We got apparel. We got rod and reel. We got all kinds of things on there.
Hey, we're good buds, right? You and I consider us really good friends.
I consider you one of my dearest pals.
Well, thank you. So I got to be honest with you. You seem a little slower tonight. Like you're not as peppy. Like there's not the pep in your. Where's the pep? Where's the pep?
I just got a lot going on in there. I got like 60 people that are waiting on me.
Oh, that's all.
But no, I'm good. It's fine. No way.
Okay, we don't want you to stress out.
Beautiful rest.
Yeah.
No, I'm not stressed. Hey, Andy, good job catching them up at St. Clair. Congratulations on your finish.
Thank you, sir.
To tell you.
You see that animal?
So,
yeah, and then the next day he's out like smashing.
He's an animal.
He is an animal, and then he's smashing trouts in the stream, Foles. You know what I mean?
Trout?
Yeah, trouts. He was out and I seen him wading for trouts with a spin pole. Yeah.
Where was he doing that?
I don't even know. I break the line when I set the hook.
I'm going to do some flats fishing in October.
But go bone fishing, bud. I'm
gonna take a flipping stick and do it.
Oh God, I couldn't imagine hitting a bonefish on a flip stick. It'd probably go straight up in the air, but the velocity's amazing of a bonefish. I've never had a fish that really just straight out. It's like I don't know if you can stop the dang thing. I don't
know, but I'd like to try some of that. So.
Heck yeah! I mean, we got to get to it. Hey, Foles, Tin Cup Whiskey. It's the official brown liquor of bass fishing, and every week you come on this Stray Cast show on a Wednesday night, and you give the Bass Galaxy a word, and when they hear this word, it's the Tin Cup Whiskey word of the week, and they got to take a sip of whatever they choose, and whatever they choose to drink responsibly, right? Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, see how we do this?
Responsibly, and
I'm waking you up
about this today. But I got to think with our guest tonight, and I'm going to tell you why I picked this. Because at Neely Henry last year, sitting on the dock watching all the boats take off, and I always heard about him. And I'm like, I wonder if what they say is true. So when he idled by when they called his name, sure enough, I bet you he had 15 rods strapped on the left-hand side, 15 rods strapped on the right, and I think he had another 8 to 10 rods strapped where your coangler would sit. So in honor of this fine gentleman coming on, I think the Tin Cup order needs to be rods and reels because because I don't think there's anybody that has.
He's
as
like
many on
Thrift.
the deck as what he does.
He
Exactly.
dances with who brung him. You know what I mean?
He's exactly like Thrift. Because I was sitting there, it's like, is what they say is really true, and it is. I mean, he had that many rods and reels on the deck, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, you know what, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, I think we need to do that, and I don't know how much it'll get set, but it's Wednesday. You can call and work late tomorrow, whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Rods
think
and
it's great.
reels.
I think it's a perfect pick, rod and reels, and we even have a little segment that we're going to talk about some stuff with Bryan about this. So I think it's gonna.
Yeah.
People are gonna have a good time tonight, and remember, whatever you choose to drink, whether it's tin cup whiskey or whether it is a cafe con leche or whether it is vitamin water for what do you call that? Duration. Stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dehydration.
Yeah, that
So you don't
too.
get
That too.
dehydrated.
That too,
Yeah.
fellas. Hey, you know how
Yeah.
you say pinchers in French?
No.
Pinciers.
Oh,
yes.
yeah?
Yes, that's the French version of a crawdad. They eat those. You ever eat crawfish, Foley?
I did. I ate them with Guido and Dion down in Louisiana.
Hey, we got Legends
The
Month.
way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, exactly. I know those boys can put them down too. We have Legends Month in November, and Dion's coming on, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We got Dion,
So-
Linders, all kinds of surprises coming up.
Yeah.
You out of here,
He's
hey.
looking forward to it.
There.
Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Well, I'm excited. Bryan New is coming on. And
Yeah.
if you hear the word rod and reel, take a drink, a tin cup whiskey or whatever you choose, and drink responsibly. And we also have Into the Great Wide Opens, right, Foles? And
Yeah, absolutely.
and don't forget this. This is a little breaking news, and we're giving Bryan a little heads up here. But part of the like and share, not only Berkeley, not only do you have a chance if you like and share this live broadcast to win the Berkeley Extravaganza Pack, you also have a chance to win something from Bryan New's personal collection. He doesn't know that yet, but we're sending it out. Austin Felix gave a jersey, bud. His one of his besties gave a jersey away, so that's tough to top. That's tough to
He's
top.
got to come strong. He's got
Hey.
to come strong.
Foley, I know they only let you out for like 10-minute increments, and you got to get back into who's gal there, because you're all you're in lockup there in Indianapolis.
I'm working all the time.
Yeah, you're always doing stuff, and we appreciate you, bud, for all the stuff that you do for the Bass Galaxy. For real, you're a big deal, man. You've come a long way since that notepad kid.
Yeah.
Hey, go in there and entertain. You can do it. Be the Wolf of Wall Street in there.
Are you not entertained? The gladiator.
Yes. Bass Galaxy, give it up for the Whiskey Gypsy. He's Luke Foley. Yes. All right, let's go. We've been gone.
I'm gonna have to try that jig tube thing, Matt. You didn't tell me.
Dude, the
about
tube's
that at all.
amazing. I haven't been talking about it because there was things happening, but it's really good. Even like you got to see what it does under the water. That's the miracle of it. I haven't really got into it. There's more to it, Foles, and you'll see. You'll see what it is. It's a jig in a tube.
I gotta come up there.
Yeah, you better hurry up. I swear to God, winter is coming. And the dragons are far.
I get up there.
All right. Hey, let's put the power poles down. Let's not go anywhere. When we get back, it's the one and only Bassmaster Elite Series champ, Bryan New. Yeah, we'll be right back. I'm Pat Renwick, Andy Ellenberger, and you, Bass Galaxy.
You let me see. Things you let me see.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man and the mountain and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain Whiskey.
Want to know the difference between power bait and other soft plastics? Ask the fish. Berkeley scientists have. Thousands of flavors tested on thousands of fish. Natural. Man-made. Every bait that's ever hit the water. No matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome back, welcome back. This is the glorified version of a Bass and Talk Show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and I did forget something at the beginning. I want to remind everybody, please go to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame website and go ahead and buy yourself some tickets for the dinner and go see our friend Aaron Martins get inaugurated into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. It's October 6th. Be there, Springfield, Missouri, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and also check out some cool jersey auctions on Brody of the Lake on eBay, and all that goes to the Martins family. So I hope to see everybody in Springfield, Missouri, October 6th, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. With all that being said, let's bring it on. This is your Bassmaster Elite Series champ tonight. It's Bryan New. He don't suck, this guy. That's him. What's up, bud? Well, what happened? There he is. He's muted. He was unmuted for a minute.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bryan New.
What's up, guys?
Yes. What's going on, bud?
Hey, we want to make sure everybody has a good time tonight. So, how about some rod and reels?
Wait, what? Wait, so you're jumping right into the like and share. You're gonna one up your friend Austin Felix because Austin gave away a jersey. So what you're doing is hopping on here and dipping out some rod and reel combos. I see.
Oh, I just want to make sure everybody has a good time.
Okay, so Brian's saying all you got to do is like and share the live Facebook feed. What's that?
No, I was going with.
Oh, he's saying rod and reel starting it off. I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm on another planet right now. I swear to God, Ginge. Holy cow. Well, anyway, here's what we do. How about we do this? Since I already opened up my big mouth, here's what we do, Brian. You and I are going to get together now, all right, since I inserted my foot and mouth disease, all right? So how about this? You give away one of your rods from your collection to a lucky Stray Cast viewer, and I'm going to give him an Abu Garcia reel.
We could probably make that happen.
Yeah, because I think that's pretty good. That might one-up Austin, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, rod and reel.
Hey, you can use a rod and reel. I don't know about a jersey.
He's getting at him, right? But hey, I don't know. That's pretty cool for a bass fishing fan too. They got it. Wait till you see the picture I'm sending, Brian. They got it framed, and they built a whole Austin Felix room in their house.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. We're gonna have to one up that.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So all kidding aside, rod and reel, the word of the night, and ironically, rod and reel is the like and share deal from Stray Cast and Bryan New. So like and share the live Facebook feed, and Brian's gonna pick a lucky winner at the end of the deal. There you go. Where are you? Are you in you're in your truck?
I am actually in my wife's car because I had to run back to North Carolina this afternoon, and she gets better gas mileage in her car, so I drive in when I going around town and stuff.
Heck yeah! I mean,
she lets me.
Yeah, because bassing ain't easy. You got to save them. No. Yeah, you got to save those dollars for on the road. Yeah, exactly. Yes. You got to save that for that gas money on the road, no doubt about it, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money this year. These days, it costs a lot of money to fill up that tank.
It's going down. It's going down. That's for
sure. Yeah, but it's still a lot of money.
Hey, I want to get into a little bit of technicality purpose with you.
All
right. I mean, we always go off the wall. And before we really get into the psyche of Bryan New, I wanna kind of get into the Derber Bryan New. Okay.
All right.
Are you good with that?
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So Ginge, you got any spicy music worked up? Yeah, give me something spicy real quick. And I'm gonna get it spiced up. You know what I mean? What I'm saying, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Oh, wait, that's not it. Uh-oh, shaboopied. All right, here it is, bud. Listen. All right, so we're going to go in through a few. I'm sorry for the distraction there for a second. We're going to go in through the eras of your career. All right. We're going to get in through a little, like 4 different. Oh, that's better, Ginge. Thank you. Okay. So I want to take you back, Brian. I want to get into this like from when you were just a young little bambino Derber. All right.
Yep.
So we're going back to 2006. All right. We're going way back to 2006. And what were you doing? What was Bryan New doing in 2006?
So I was working at a tackle store right up the street from my house, after school in high school, and I went fishing as much as I could, and I fished my first BFL ever as a co-angler. So really, other than some team tournaments, that was my first, a little bit higher level tournament ever in 2016. 2006. I was 16 years old.
Gosh, 16, and you're hitting the first. And I was checking that out, man. You were what gave you the idea to do that? You came up with like $160 on that derb too.
Yeah, I thought I hit the jackpot, buddy. Because I was making $50 a week working, a couple hours after school every day, and I just tripled that in 8 hours, and I was fishing, so that was pretty awesome. Obviously, going way back, all I wanted to do was fish. All I wanted to do was become a professional fisherman, and that was my first opportunity to take. That was that next step, my first next step. And it was looking back, it was a lot of steps back, from where I am now. But that was that first leap.
And it takes that. It takes that first little leap, and plus you cashing a check helped a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. Because I had only fished a few team tournaments before that, and I don't think I'd ever got a check. So getting a check there where it's it's not a team, it is just me. Of course I'm in the back of somebody's boat, but it still was like it was that first mental win that I had.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, Brian. I have to interrupt the show for a second. This is a serious matter. I'm being serious for a second. Ginge, hold on a second. If I seem
I don't believe that.
No, it really is, Brian. It's about a buddy of ours. And I'm being serious. This is like a real thing this day and age. Okay, and it's been. Yeah. And if I seem a little preoccupied, it's because this is bothering me. Our buddy Seth, his dad Pedro, Pedro. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pedro got hacked. And that's a bunch. I know it's a bunch of BS.
Again?
It's a bunch of BS these days on the social media. Okay, so Pedro got hacked, and there's people saying bad shit. And if you get messages, it's not Pedro. All right, that's all we're saying. I want the whole Bass Galaxy to know, and I feel I had to get this off my chest, and I feel better saying it because it was bothering me that this happened to Pedro. He's a good dude. All right.
He's very good dude.
Yeah, he's an amazing gentleman. So, Brian, tell all your buds, and then everybody listening tomorrow too on the podcast. If you get any messages from Pedro, it's not Pedro because he can't get in his account. We've been dealing with this stuff for the last 3 hours or something. So, yeah. But anyway, back to our regular scheduled program. How's that?
2000. Sometimes you gotta go with the flow, man.
I know, and that's the magic of a live bass fishing talk show. And I'm sorry that I kind of had to do that to go on. I had to, you know what I mean? You got to clear that. You got to clear.
I understand.
You know what I mean? So now we're going back to rod and reel, right? Rod and reel, and we're going to a 16-year-old Bryan New in 2006 that's just getting his Durbin career. You're just starting to derb. You're just starting to fish tournaments, bud. And you get it going, you cash a little check, and get this, you got the bug. You got the bug. And I'm taking a big leap now. We're going 7 years forward, and we're going to 2013, all right? So here's what I need you to think about now. This is what we're getting into the Derber progression, the tournament angler progression of Bryan New. So between 2006 and 2013, which was a great year for you, Brian, which you're probably going to tell us about here in a second. But I believe from looking at it as a bass fishing fan that it was another milestone of your career, 2013.
Absolutely.
And I need to know from you, how did you, in your opinion, evolve as an angler in that time? Like, give me some lessons that you may have learned. Give me, it could be Durbin lessons. It could be technique lessons. And give me a something that maybe you carry on to this day that you learned in that period. Does that make sense, Bryan?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, really the biggest thing is, we're in fishing and we're talking about fishing, but when you really sit back and think about things, think about what helped you get to that next step. It's truly just life. It's not fishing. It's truly life, because it doesn't matter if you're a fisherman or a salesman or whatever it is in your life, you're taking the same steps to get to the next level. And, it was truly just to get to that 2013 milestone in my career. It was eat, sleep, and breathe fishing. That's all that mattered to me in my life, for the most part. Other than my family, that's all that mattered to me. And I've to this day, I've dedicated my life to fishing. And, everything that I do in my life is for fishing to an extent.
Yeah.
Whether it's for tomorrow or 15 years down the road, from maybe going, I grew up on Lake Wiley, and I would constantly be tinkering with tackle, trying to make this a little bit better. I'd run down to the dock. And I couldn't tell you how many times I've run up and down that hill over the years. And it's been I'd run down there and make 3 casts, and I'd come back to the house and do something a little different, and I'd run back down there again. A lot of trips up and down that hill, and a lot of just my entire life. Every step that I took in my life was to get to that point, and to the point I am now. And there was a lot of steps after that, and there's a lot of steps ahead.
Yeah, and I like how you said that everything that you do is about fishing. And that's something that. And you said, let me go back a little bit before that. You said that everything you've ever wanted to do was fish. And for people that aren't bass fishermen, or let's just say any type of angler at heart, other people don't understand what it's like for us. Every single thing we do, every single thing we see relates to fishing. Isn't that nuts, Bryan?
It really is, because even today, I go to work during the off season. I don't have to, but it helps me. And sometimes, God, I hate I'm here at work. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy my job, but it's still I kind of wish I was at home or fishing or doing something else. But at the same time, it helps me remember where I come from. It helps me to remember to always push harder. So even me going to work after I've already, I'm only 2 years in my true professional career.
Yes, sir.
But I've been very successful, and I'm going to work because mentally that helps me.
Okay.
Maybe if I was going fishing at the time, maybe I would learn something, but there's more than just the fishing to it. It's the mental aspect as well. And I would fish every day of my life if I could, but it just helps me remember to never slow down, to never
suck,
never quit wanting it.
Yeah, and never suck. Isn't that what you say? Don't suck.
Never suck.
Don't suck.
Don't suck.
You guys love that. But no, it's a life lesson, man. And that work ethic. I know a lot of guys, man, that, they're either one direction or the other. All they know is bass fishing, or they were hard workers that are able to apply that to bass fishing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
There's 2 type of anglers. And I like that you do that. So I think, would it be accurate to say that, okay, let's go back a minute. 2013, you popped like 20K as what was that? As a co? Where were you on?
On Eufaula.
On Eufaula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a special place to me.
So, dude, is it safe to say that in between that 2006 period and 2013 that your work ethic helped you to build up to that 2013 accomplishment?
Absolutely. For sure. It's like I said, it's every step that I'm sitting here in the Walmart parking lot right now, and if I was to go in there after we get off of here to get whatever, get some groceries for my wife. I would be thinking about fishing. I'll see something. I mean, something super random.
Oh, you'd be in the fishing aisle regardless, too.
Well, not even only that. It doesn't matter where I go. I'm super organized when it comes to my tackle and everything fishing, whether it be paperwork for my business, whether it be, whatever it is. I'm super organized, and like I could go into anywhere and I'm going to be looking for stuff like, oh, I could probably use that for this to make this more efficient. It's seriously, it sounds crazy, but every single step of my life is to make myself a better angler.
I like it. I like your thought process. And here's the thing. We're going to talk about this a little more later, too, because I have some questions about this. But I know you're very organized. But from an outsider's point of view, you seem like you're all over the freaking place, bud. But I know you're like so ADD, bud. Like you are so locked,
Yeah, it's I hear that a lot, and I am. You mean in school? I had a tough time in school, paying attention and focusing on.
Me too.
And I still today. I mean, like my wife's going to kill me, but sometimes I have a hard time focusing on her. It's not that she doesn't matter, but my mind is.
You get preoccupied. Yeah, I mean, and then it's not.
I do.
It's not even necessarily preoccupied, and I think I relate to this in this way, Bryan, that there's always a million things happening in my mind. And and it's how I relate or how I deal with all these things happening in my mind.
Yeah.
Achieves how good my day is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So kind of like a side note on that, what's really crazy and makes no sense to me at all is when I'm fishing, like if I just go fun fishing, maybe not as much, but whenever I'm practicing for a tournament or in a tournament, I'm not like that. In my head, it may look like I am, but in my head, I'm not. Like what's going on in my head is 100% strictly focused on that event. It may not be that moment. It may be, steps that I need to take for, an hour from now or tomorrow or day or the next day or the next day. Like that event is the only thing that's distracting me and it's not really, I shouldn't say distracting, but something else that's in my head is another moment in that event. Steps I need to take for the future of that event.
Yeah, I like it. So you're able to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get me outside of that. I'm thinking about, what I can do to be more efficient.
Hey, I want to go. Speaking of efficient, I have to ask you, I got to go back to this. Like, let's just make something up. Let's say you went into Walmart right now and you needed to get something cool. Like, give me an example of something that you could apply to fishing that you grab out of the Walmart aisle.
So, here's a cool example about doing something and it working and then figuring out a more efficient way of doing it is a Sharpie.
A Sharpie.
How you going to apply that to fishing? And I'm not talking about drawing on your baits and making them different colors. Like everybody knows me for having a lot of rod and reels on my deck.
Yeah.
And
we'll get to that too.
And, when you have all that, it pays to know exactly what line is on your rod and reel. And not only that, this year I've even took it a little bit farther. So, for instance, whenever I spool a reel up with new Sunline, I write the pound and so Sunline has different fluorocarbons. They have FC. So if I put 16-pound FC Sniper on a reel, I put a piece of tape on. My wife puts a piece of tape on the side of my reel and writes 16 FC. But if I put 16 shooter, I put 16S. So I've always, the standard Sharpies that when you draw on something that's a little bit fatter. So this year I came across and realized they make skinny Sharpies.
The fine Sharpie.
So now,
yeah.
So now, the skinny sharper, it just looks better. It doesn't smudge, and
There it is.
It's a little bit more efficient.
16 pound, 16 pound, 18 pound.
Yeah, but going even farther than that, like a drop shot. I have 3 or 4 different drop shots when we go up north, and sometimes I'll have a number 1 hook, sometimes I have a number 2, sometimes I have a 1-off, and I put a sticker on my rod with that as well, and also my weight size. So like at Oahe, I was using a number 1 with a 5/8 ounce, and I had a 6-pound leader. So I've got all of that stuff wrote down with the Sharpie on a little piece of masking tape on my rod.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's the organized Bryan New.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes much deeper than that, but we'll be here for 12 hours.
Well, we are going to talk a little more about it, but hey, so I got to ask you, 2013, you cashed your first big check ever as a bass fishing derber. All right? What'd you do?
That was my first big check.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Right. Okay. What'd you do? Did you bank it? Did you party? What'd you do?
Oh, yeah, I probably bought a lot more tackle than I should have, but, that's, once again, that was all I care about is fishing. So I buy food and pay bills and gas and fishing tackle. And I buy my wife, mainly my daughter's stuff. I don't buy my wife a ton of stuff, but I buy a lot of stuff for my daughter.
There you go.
That's where my money goes. That's it, period.
Yeah, I relate to that. I spoil my daughter. I have to.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Probably more than we should, but hey,
why not?
That's we love them.
Exactly, bud. So $20K in 2013. Now you got a little money in the bank. You got some new tackle, and you're getting ready for the next adventure, which brought you to 2019. Is it safe to say that your deal over? I think what was it? BFLs at the time in 2009.
Yeah. So. Yeah, 19, I believe I was just fishing BFLs and the Toyota series. Yeah.
And you won you won a derb for like $71K.
Yeah, so I actually in 19, 19, I won the Ray Scott Championship in the ABA. That was over 100,000.
Yikes! I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Holy cow, Bryan.
19 was an unbelievable year. I finished, to start the year, I finished 6th in a Toyota at Okeechobee. And then a couple weeks later, the Ray Scott Championship, finished 3rd in the All-American that year. Then I won a BFL regional. 19 was good.
Yeah, bud. So like you won like almost 175K bass fishing in like that's insane, bro.
Yeah, it was over 200. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Hey, so here's what's amazing. Like, okay, I didn't realize about the ABA. The 71 or whatever was amazing in itself. Now what you have is just immense confidence, don't you? You have like security. It's like 2019. You are now Bryan the Conqueror, aren't you?
Yeah, so really starting, I would say the fall of 18 is when it really, like I had been doing good, but the fall of 18 is whenever I climbed on top of the mountain. And, there was a lot of changes going on in my life at that point. The end of 18, I finished 5th in the Toyota Championship at Guntersville. That's where it started, that tournament. And then right after that, I qualified for that All-American as well as that Ray Scott Championship. But then in January of 19, I met my wife, fell in love. And this sounds corny and it sounds cheesy and it sounds like I'm just trying to gain brownie points, which I need every one I can get. But seriously, when that happened, when I met her, my whole entire life changed. Everything since then, I mean, I'm not going to say, haven't had rough days or rough times, but every day since then has been the best days of my life.
Lady luck. And there you go.
I'm telling you.
We heard about it lots of times with athletes.
So 19, after I made all that money that year and qualified for the FLW tour, I was all in on going to the tour. And then, a lot of things changed in the world of bass fishing, and I stepped back and said, I don't think that's the path I want to take, and decided to fish the opens. And that's a whole different story. I only signed up for the Eastern. I won the first one. At that point, I said, I think it makes sense to fish all of them. I fish all of them, win Angler of the Year, qualify for the Elite. If I don't fish all of those, I don't qualify for the Elites.
Yeah.
So backing up and going even deeper into that, if I don't win my first open, I don't qualify for the Elites because I don't fish the Centrals.
Wow. And what did you do?
Well, then I went and got me a bigger blue trophy.
You won the Open, you got into the Elites, and you won your first ever Elite Series tournament. Dude.
Man, I want to do that again so bad.
I know you
want
did.
to do that again so bad.
It's insane. You're an insane angler. You really are. Like, your intensity is pretty wild. I don't know what to say.
I mean, like I said, all I care about other than my family in life is bass fishing. And I do like to do, try to set a good example and do good things for other people. But those are the only three things that matter to me in my life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to look out that way, Bryan. And you seem to be on a right path with this. I mean, you're doing good. Where did you end up finishing up? Like maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that?
15.
15.
But I
All right,
finished
nailed it last
second
time.
I mean, I hate to be the guy that says but I did finish second from last at Chickamauga. But I mean, you take that away and just give me a mediocre tournament, man, I'm like right there knocking on the door. Yeah. And so other than that one tournament, man, I had a great year. I really did. Yeah. I mean, a phenomenal year.
You're fishing strong, and you've pretty much always fished strong. I think that it's some people just have that, and with you, I believe it's a combination. And this is my opinion as a bass fishing fan. It's a combination of your passion for bass fishing, your passion for competition, and then you constantly have to be doing something. I think, is that safe to say with you? Like, so you channel it in tournaments.
Yeah.
That's why you work. I think
it is.
When you're not.
I'm either wide open. I'm either at 100 or 0. Like if I don't have anything going on, I'm going to fall asleep. Period. That's the truth. That's how I am. And I wouldn't call myself a sleepy assassin or anything remotely close to that. But I'm either 100 or 0. There's nothing in between.
Dude, it's good to see what you're doing in the Elites, and it's nice that you finally, or that you did decide to take the path over towards the Bassmasters, especially when you already banked like $400K at FLW. And I mean, and a lot of it's from the back of the boat.
Yeah, a lot of it was, and that's just the past. That was the cards I was dealt. And looking back, even though I was there and I fished as a coangler for so long, like, it's hard. And I'm not taking any credit away from what anybody's done as a coangler, but even myself, as successful as I was, I don't think you can measure the angler you are from what you've done as a coangler, because, yes, you're adapting, and that's one strength that I took away from it. But at the same time, you didn't find those fish. You just adapted whenever you got put on them. So I never really took my achievements as a co-angler and felt like they were a part of the angler that I am. I guess to an extent they were, but
there had to be some learning. There had to be some learning as a co.
100%. And I'm not saying that I wasn't, but now my path that I took as a co-angler and maybe what I just said made no sense at all, but it makes sense in my head.
I get it.
But my path as a co-angler is definitely a big part of my success. You know, I would recommend anybody that wants to get to where I'm at, wants to get to the top level, to fish as a co-angler. And I'm not talking about a year. I'm not talking about 2 years. I'm talking about conquer the co-angler side before you go to the next side. Conquer, not fish, conquer the co-angler side before you make the next step. Because I learned so much. I learned from the anglers I was with, but the biggest thing that I truly, and now I learned a lot in practice. You know, some guy named Bryan Thrift, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
But honestly, the biggest thing that I learned, that I took away from it, that I carry to this day, and I'll carry till the day I die, is learning how to adapt. Like I just said, you have zero say-so of where you're going next, or, you know, how the boat's positioned, anything. You have to prepare for the conditions that you think you'll be in. And you have to, once you get in that situation multiple times throughout that day, you have to do everything respectfully, not interfering with the guy in the front of the boat, to possibly do the best you possibly can.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. But I think that as long as co-anglers treat it correctly, they can learn. I don't know how else to put it.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, if you want to be a successful co-angler, you better learn how to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Dude, that's good, Bryan, new philosophy. When did you meet Thrift? When did you guys first connect?
I mean, we were around each other, knew each other, I mean, for a long time, you know, growing up on Lake Wiley. You know, he was up the road in Shelby, but he fished at Wiley a lot and won a lot at Wiley back before I was even really fishing tournaments at all. But like when we really truly connected was 2012, my first year on the tour. I was practicing with another angler that I don't want to talk about that did me really wrong, still owes me a lot of money.
Wow.
But anyway,
who do we got to rough up? We're from Chicago. We're going to rough them up. We can put a horse head in their bed. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Don't think I haven't thought about it. But anyway,
you call me.
I'll get mad if we get to talk about that.
Okay, let's not do it.
So he didn't make the Forest Wood Cup. And Thrift did, of course. I did as well. So I practiced with Thrift at the Cup and at Lake Lanier. That was the first day we'd ever been in the boat with each other, and that's where it all started. We actually wound up, you know, on day 3 was the last day for co-anglers. Oh, but on day 3 they would put first and first, second,
sure.
third. Well, me and Thrift were, I don't remember what place we were in going into that day, third day, but we were both in the same place and wound up fishing together the third day. So that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah. What's the age difference between you guys?
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So he was like the cool older guy on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about the cool, but I would say the smart fish, you know, the good fisherman on the block, the good older guy on the block.
Yeah. He had the garage with all the cool tackle in the beer can collection. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you learn more like in your days? So you traveled with Thrift then eventually.
Yeah, we traveled and practiced together, and I mean, we fish even to this day. You know, we fish some team tournaments and go fun fishing together when we get a chance. It's not as much anymore. You know, we'd always been, you know, roughly an hour apart. Now I live at Murray and we're, you know, 2 hours apart now, but we're actually planning on going over to Hartwell maybe next week together.
Nice. Could you say, or would you say that over the years that you've known Bryan Thrift, that you've learned more from watching him or listening to him?
I don't know how to answer that, because if, you know, when you start, even just in friendship in general, but fishing friendships are a little bit different than just a friendship, you know, because we're talking about like top secret stuff, So at the beginning, it's never, you kind of just start out being friends, and then you become best friends. Well, in fishing, it's the same way, and it took a few years, a year or two, to get to that point. And at that point, 100% everything. What he knows, I know. What I know, he knows, and we both taught each other a ton. I'd have to say he's probably taught me more than I've taught him, I would think. But, I think I learned more practicing with him than anything.
Yeah, and you guys are so similar. So similar in style. Here's the difference. You're like, now, Brian Thrift, he's fidgety in a way too. He's always like, he's going out banging a dart, doing but he's still more mellow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where
Absolutely.
you're like a live wire. You're just like the whole time.
All over the place. Yep.
So was that the oil and vinegar thing a good thing for your relationship, you think? Did that make you guys get along better?
I don't know. I tell you what, he's one of my best friends in the world. And, hey, we've had one brief argument the entire time we've been friends. And, and it was over fishing. Imagine that. But like I said,
was it over brief, a spot?
Somewhat, but not really. But we won't really get into all that. But honestly, it was probably good for our friendship.
Sure.
Cause we got stuff out that we needed to get out. And, like I said, he's one of my best friends in the world and always will be.
Yeah, man. You, and I could tell you follow a lot of his suit as far as your angling style. You mentioned before the immense amount of rods and reels on the deck and having to use tape to tell what the heck half of them are. Because if you got a bunch of Revo STXs and then a bunch of Fitzgeralds, they all look the same, right?
They do. For the most part, they do.
Hey, let's do that. So you love the Revo STX, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll give away a Revo STX, and you're going to give away a Fitzgerald rod.
All right.
That's what we could do to finalize this like and share. How's that? So Stray Cast is throwing in an Abu Garcia Revo STX, and Brian New is throwing in a old Fitzgerald. You got Signature Series ones yet?
No, I'm not good enough yet.
Well, let's just say it is.
Honestly, all honesty, like I don't. If we decided to do one, I don't know what I would do it with. Because I know what I need, which rod I need for every application. For if you say 10XD, I know what rod. If you say drop shot, I know what rod. That quick. I love the rod.
Okay, the most versatile Fitzgerald that you have. What is it? The most versatile?
Probably the 7-foot heavy stunner. And I know it's called a heavy, but it's more parabolic.
I know.
I throw everything.
Thrift told us all about it. He loves that rod too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the old stunner.
It would either be that or the frog rod. Thrift's frog rod, the 7.2. It's a 7.2 medium heavy.
And what's your favorite STX Revo? What gear ratio?
7-to-1.
7-to-1. Okay,
sure.
So I'm giving away a 7-to-1, and you're giving away. What do you want to do? Give away the stunner?
I gotta look in my collection. I don't know. It'll be a good one. I can tell you that.
We'll just call Fitzgerald. Call Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just tell him that you're not going to have to send it from your rod locker, Brian. Mr. Fitzgerald is.
Oh yeah, we'll have to twist his arm. But,
hey, yeah, how many are on the deck at one time? How many you got on the deck?
Oh man, this sounds crazy, and it definitely varies. But there's been many practice days that I've started out with 40, 42, 43 rods.
What?
In practice.
In the heck?
Now, it's never, that sounds crazy.
On the deck?
Crazy.
And
well, from the deck to the co-angler slot, yeah.
okay. You're insane.
It's a lot of rods.
You're insane.
I am.
How
My
much
wife calls me
rigging
a lot of
time is
things,
that?
and that's
Like,
one of them.
that's like a lot of rigging, bud.
It is. So before every single tournament, let me back up even farther than that. When they announce our schedule, when I know what my schedule is for next year, I sit down and I make a list for every tournament. And, once it gets close to that tournament, it may be tweaked a little bit. Pretty much never anything's took off. There's just stuff added. And it may be, the weather's a little, the season's different than I predicted it to be.
Sure.
Or maybe it's a new technique that I learned since then. Maybe it's a new bait that I've got since then that's added. But anyway, so I sit down before every event and put brand new sun line on every one of my rod and reels. And everything's rigged 100% perfect.
Wow.
And the reason I do that is, yes, the stuff that I use throughout practice, I'll still put new line and rig it new, fresh for the event after practice. But there's a lot of stuff that I won't wind up using during practice, but there's still a chance for it come tournament time. And I want everything to be perfect. I don't want, you can't let 10 minutes of time or $10 worth of line cost you a chance at, $100,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So every tool that I'm going to use, a rod and reel is a tool. Every tool that I'm going to use in that event is going to be in tip-top shape. It's going to be perfect shape.
Yeah, I see that about you too. And that's a lot of string and poles, dude. Like 40 poles for a derb. That's a lot of time.
Let me tell you, it takes 2 full days. I mean, it seriously takes 2. Like, I'll get up, I'll take my daughter to school, I'll come home, I'll start rigging. I'll go pick her up because, Brittany's at work a lot of times. She's a nurse. And I'll come home, get back to rigging. And I mean, for 2 days. 2 days. And I'm not talking 8-hour days. I'm talking 12, 13, 14-hour days.
Yeah, well, that's extreme. You got a lot of stuff going on there, too. And you're ready to rip before the derb. I mean, throwing.
Absolutely.
And that's baits on and everything.
Yeah. And I tell you something I actually picked up from your show last year was the line and lure. I never really used that. And I said, hey, that's something. That's one step that I can do to make my stuff better. So I tried it. I got the little bottle, tried it. I liked it. And so during that rigging process for every single rod, 47 rods that I rig up, whatever it is for that event, squirt it on there.
Yeah, dude, that stuff, it is amazing. Like, I mean, it really is. We had Hackney on not too long ago talking about how that enhances his fishing as well. And it's funny that guys like you, Thrift, Matty Robertson, you're all using that sneaky line conditioner. You know what I mean? Chris Grow, you're all sneaking it. I like it. I like it. It's an advantage,
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It is. I mean, when you're on the top level, you have to use every tool possible to make you better. I mean, it doesn't matter if it saves you 3 seconds in an event. That's 3 seconds.
Do you, when you're...
You come in if I'm fighting a fish and I put him in the boat and I run in, and I'm due in at 3 o'clock and I'm 3 seconds late, that's a pound penalty.
Yeah, bud.
You might not catch a fish in 3 seconds, but 3 seconds still matters.
Yeah, in every element of the whole dang game. Hey, I got to ask you one more thing because I'm still fascinated about this whole respooling deal. Like, are you one of them, use backers or are you stripping them all?
I definitely use backers. One thing, I've done for years is I use braid backing. And a lot of people say don't use it. And the reason is if you do it incorrectly, your line could slip. You could be reeling and your line's not moving. It's slipping because it's just that braid spinning on the spool. So what you have to make sure, instead of just going around the spool and tying it, I either go through the spool or I wrap it 2 or 3 times and then I'll tie it. So that way it prevents it from slipping. So one reason I use, the 2 reasons I use braid is one, I can tie, I don't use an FG, and I really don't know what the name of the knot is whenever I tie my line. But I use, a braid to fluoro knot. So it doesn't stick up like if you just tie overhand knot, it's gonna stick up and it's gonna put a high spot in your line, in your spool of line.
Right.
And if you ever wind up getting low, it just sticks up and you don't cast as far. And when I say cast as far, that's another reason I use braid, because braid is lighter than fluorocarbon or monofilament. And if the lighter you can make your spool, the farther you can cast.
Aha. Okay, I like it. And I have heard that before. Yeah. What's the best pound test braid to use for a backer?
I typically use, so I most of the time I use 50.
Okay.
Just because if you get in a smaller diameter, say 20 or whatever, it does take more, but also, and wrap your head around this. The smaller diameter packs in tighter. So not only is it more aligned, you would think, I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
Go ahead.
The bigger diameter, it takes less line, but also it's actually less space in your reel because you've got those voids in between the layers. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, 100%. It's a little more airy.
So, yes. It would be almost like a solid ball versus a wiffle ball. So that's just that much less weight on your reel. I don't know that it makes a difference because it's not a big difference that you're making there, but it is a difference, and I know it doesn't hurt. All it can do is help.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that too. That braid backer and makes the spool lighter. It's more efficient. Does Thrift do that too?
I'm not really sure. I know he uses backers, but I think he just uses whatever's on.
He just goes out there, spends 15 minutes at each spot, and goes. Right? That's his rule.
Yeah.
That's his rule right there. So I forgot to ask you this when I was asking you about your early derb days, and I'm kind of curious about this. Back in those 2006 days, what kind of bass boat were you running around in?
Whatever somebody would take me in, because I didn't have one.
Oh, okay. When did the first one come?
Yeah, so the first bass boat didn't come until that kind of goes back to that angler that we're not going to talk about.
Oh, wow.
I was buying a boat from him. It was kind of stupid on my part for doing it the way I was, but one day he decided that whenever I told him that I was going to practice with Thrift the next year because, just because, then he decided he was pissed off at me, and he'd come and pick the boat up, and he still owes me $10,000.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is he a pro angler still?
Boat,
Is this guy a pro angler still?
No.
Oh.
No, he didn't make it real long. What's crazy is he won 2 FLW tour events. I think those were the 2 of the 5 checks he ever got. And, he didn't last very. How do you win 2 events like that? And I don't know. I feel I'm talking bad and I shouldn't, just because of the,
he owes you $10K, bud.
Our beef, but whatever. Let's move on. My first boat, I had a 14-foot John boat with really my true first boat was a jet ski lift that washed up during a flood. That broke loose from somebody's dock, and I got me a 2x4, and I got out there and paddled around with a 2x4 on a jet ski lift. That was my first boat.
Heck yeah, I like that. I like that. You still got a Johnny you run around in, or are you just running around in the glass boat?
Yeah, just a Falcon now. I tell you, I'd like to get one again someday. Cause hey, that 3 gallons, 3 miles per gallon gets expensive.
It sure does. Dude, the nice thing about running around in an aluminum boat too is it just doesn't matter when you hit stuff.
No, it doesn't. Like, if you knock a hole in it, you just go home and you weld it.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of hitting stuff, what's Jason Quinn up to these days? How's he been?
The last I heard, he was battling some cancer.
Oh, no.
And that was about a year ago. And I did see him roughly a year ago, and he seemed to be good. He looked good. He didn't look sick. That's been a time, a year ago.
Okay.
But yeah. And actually I was fishing on Lake Wiley, and seen him on his dock.
That's why I asked. I know he loves. I mean, I know you fish that Lake Wiley, and he's been on there forever. And he was cool to watch, wasn't he? Back in that 2006 Elites and all that.
I was really, really young when he was like in his prime, and but man, he was good.
Yeah,
he was good.
He was one of the first, one of the old hardware. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah.
He was one of the first be yourself anglers.
Yeah.
Was old.
But yeah, he had a good career.
Yeah, no doubt. Who else do you see? What kind of legends? There's a lot of legends out in that area. Old Hank Parker, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, who do you run into? Who do you see out that way?
Man, so I'm at Lake Murray now. So
okay. So you see Brad Rutherford a lot, then the legend. Brad Rutherford.
Yeah, he's a legend in his own mind. Yeah, I talked to Brad today.
Did you? Nice.
I called him up, and some ghost hunter picked up the phone. I said, "What are you doing, you ugly rascal?"
We love Brad. He's our pure fishing boss.
Speaking of ghost hunters, did you see my video from work last week?
No, but I actually, it's funny that you say that because I have a question about paranormal activity for you. What is this? What is this ghost hunter video?
Oh, it wasn't really a ghost hunter. Matt Robertson's a ghost hunter.
Oh yeah,
on the side, and I was doing a termite inspection at work at this house, and I'm crawling around under there. And, a lot of people store things under their house, especially right there at the crawl space
I did
door.
see this. I did. Yeah, sorry. Keep going.
And
yes.
I look over, I see a big old dirty pair of whitey-tighties. They must have had ghosts. Matt Robertson's been here.
Scared the pants off somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that is a ghost hunter story. Oh my gosh! Hey, speaking of that, did you ever have like a paranormal experience, man? I know a lot of crazy shit goes on in the woods in the Carolinas.
So, I mean, it's almost embarrassing to say, but like me and my brothers, we used to coon hunt when we were kids.
Yeah.
You stay up later and this is like different time, not when we were coon hunting, but like late at night you'd stay up watching TV later than you're supposed to, and it would seem like always late at night these UFO movies would come on.
Yeah.
And or documentaries or whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I was telling my wife this not too long ago. It's like, I'm pretty sure my wife's the only person I've ever told this, and here I am telling it to the whole world.
I love it.
We would have these certain places that we would go and set the dogs out, and we'd sit there and wait, and you wait on the tree of coon, and we'd go to them. Well, on this path there, we would go through the fence, and there was these trees, there was these two trees that grew real close together. Well, the path went in between them.
Wow.
Huh. And I was probably 7 or 8 when I was probably roughly around 7 or 8 when we were doing this. And I don't know what triggered it. It had to be something on one of those shows that I seen, but I would never walk between those two trees because something in my mind told me that if I walked through those two trees that a UFO was going to take me up.
It was going to smash
so
you.
I would always go around it.
That was the gateway to the universe.
I have no clue. Like, I definitely don't believe in that crap nowadays, but back then I was, I was a scared little kid.
Well, they always say that
there was another time we were out partying, and there's this old abandoned house in the town, next town over from us.
I like this one.
Everybody says it's haunted. Well, or you go there and you see ghosts late at night. Well, we went late at night, and we was a bunch of us, and we're walking around this thing, looking in the windows, and to this day, like, on one hand, I don't want to believe we've seen it, and I don't think we really did, but we all made ourselves believe we've seen a ghost in the window.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I can't tell you that I didn't see a ghost, because I still feel like I did, but
Then you did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Well, then you did. Yeah, then you did. Just say you did.
Hey, Thrift saw a ghost dog. Ask him about that.
What, a ghost dog?
Yeah, it was a dog that was a ghost.
Dude, this is amazing.
I don't know the whole story, but he saw a ghost dog one time.
You've stayed at, speaking of the Rutherford family, you've stayed.
Oh, yeah.
You've stayed at Bob Rutherford's.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, well, you know what it did to John Cox.
He woke up and it was on top of him or something.
Violating him. It raped John Cox. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know what else to say.
That is so John Cox.
It happens to John. Really is. Of course it happens to John, our bud. But anyway, yeah, be careful with that attic at Bob's.
Yeah.
When you're
Hey, I've stayed there. I've stayed there a handful of times, and since then, and I have not been back in the attic.
Well, the ghost probably.
So I've not been violated.
The ghost probably roofied you.
I've not been violated.
Yeah, you got roofied by the ghost. You don't even know what happened.
Probably not.
Well, your paranormal experiences, you saw a ghost. You think. In a window.
Yeah,
when you were partying. When you were partying.
I was partying.
Hey, but the best part is that Brian Thrift saw a ghost dog.
The ghost dog.
And Fighter's got a cat ghost. So it's all awesome. That's all awesome.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, do you remember your dreams? Are you a guy that remembers dreams?
From time to time, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Do you?
Not, and actually, me and my wife, the days that we're off together, we drop our daughter off at school and go to breakfast together. And this morning, when we went to breakfast, I told her, I said, I had a really weird dream last night, but I don't remember what it was. And she said, well, how do you know it was weird? I just remember it being weird.
Yeah, it made you feel funny,
Yeah,
you woke up funny feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember some, the big details from time to time.
Yeah, like the ghost in Bob's attic.
Right.
So tell me about a dream that you remember. Do you have bassin dreams?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Tell me about a bassin dream.
Yeah. So, heck, I don't remember. I remember them for a little bit, but then they kind of go away. But it seems like, I don't know. I would be making it up if I told you. I don't remember. I will tell you a dream that I do remember. I don't remember all the details. And I've had this dream over and over and over throughout my entire life. Since I was a kid to, it hasn't happened, recently, but in the last year or two it's happened. I don't know what happens. I don't know all the details, but I do remember, like, maybe jumping over something and then all of a sudden, like, you accidentally jump too high and you're literally a mile in the sky falling and just scared to death this whole time that you're fixing to die. But on the other hand, you're not going to die because it's happened to you before and you're perfectly fine. Very weird dream.
Dude, I have that too.
I've had it.
I get that thing too, man. Like, sometimes I'll be like in a plane too and falling, or sometimes it's like I'm in a truck going over a cliff, or other times I'm like in a bass boat on a giant wave. But it's like you always fall, but you always know you're going to be okay. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's so weird. I don't know what it is, but I've had it my entire life. It's not like I have it every day. But seriously, I'm 32 years old and I've had it for at least 25 years.
Yeah, I've had that many times. And another one I've had, Brian, is like everything in the house is water and I'm just swimming. Like that always happens to me. I swim from spot
Yeah.
to spot. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, I haven't had that one, but it sounds cool. kind of.
It's kind of fun because it's cool to have a
Yeah.
bedroom underwater. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty honest. It's pretty awesome.
So do you like are you a merman or?
No, nothing cool like that. No Aquaman stuff or
Ah.
nothing. No, it's just basically
Gosh.
it's basically a water fun land inside the house.
Hey,
Is-
that's
is-
always
is
that's,
what it
that's
is.
never a bad thing.
Yeah, but I never catch any fish in the house. I don't understand
Ah.
why. I don't know.
that is a bummer.
Could be the pH level or something, the
Possibly.
acidic level of the whole deal. Hey, do you consider yourself are you smart at anything besides bass fishing? Are you? I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything I set my mind to, I'll be good at.
Nice.
If I set my mind to it, I'm going to be good at it. It might not be tomorrow, but I'm going to be good at it.
I think that I interpret that about you. For example, I think I know a little bit about bass fishing, and then I know a little bit about music. So I think I'm pretty
Yeah.
smart about those type of things. And
Yeah.
what's something that you feel that you're pretty knowledgeable about besides bass fishing? Do you have another passion or another hobby or a craft?
Not really.
It's just
Not
bassing.
really,
Just
I mean-
bassing.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've got another hobby, but it's probably not a good one to talk
Hey, it
about.
helps the bassin. We know that it helps the bassin. 2019,
Oh, yeah.
bud. You said it
Hey,
yourself.
we are. Me and my wife are trying to have another kid, and I've been practicing a lot.
That's the
So,
fun part.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's the fun part, man.
But yeah, practicing and bassing. That's my hobby.
So I have that too. Yeah, I run, and I fish. I do those three things. Those are my hobbies right now. So the loving's the funnest. I'll be honest with you.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it is.
It complements the bassin. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, so speaking of love life, you got in bass fishing, we all have our loves. Like you have your main squeeze, but then, you got the roster. You know what I mean? You got the roster
yeah.
below, and sometimes you got to call on the roster. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
The main squeeze in bassing is that lure that works for you time and time again. And then the roster's a couple drop downs. You got a couple other baits
Yeah.
that work down
That's
on,
right.
on the roster. So what is that one lure for you, Bryan New, that you just have to throw? You're going to throw it every dang time, no matter what, no matter where you go. What is it?
I really don't have one.
Yes,
It
you
seems
do.
Like I really don't. I don't have one.
Okay,
I don't
give me
have
three.
one.
3 of them. I made it
So,
easier.
A Nico, a Zoom swamp crawler on a Nico.
Okay.
And I mean, that's almost anywhere we go in the country.
Yep.
Man, I really like a chatterbait with either a fluke or a Z-crawl on the back. That's not every day, or, every situation, but man, if there's any kind of shallow bite at all, I'm going to have that. And, gosh, I mean, I really want to say my BLD jig, but, it's not something I'm going to use in Florida or something like that. But it is definitely, take Florida out of the picture, BLD jig.
Then it's been on your deck every other derb. I've seen that.
Yes,
Besides Florida.
Every tournament this year, once we left Classic, it has been on my deck. And I finished second in the Open, mainly from that jig. I led the first day of the Classic, and partially because of that jig, it saved my tail the last day at Oahe because of that jig. I caught a few on it at St. Lawrence because of that jig. And
What's the line tie on it, Bryan? Is it a one flat eye with an
vertical.
angle, a vertical?
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of people everybody kind of has their preferences, and I don't know why we do that, but I've always been a vertical line tie guy.
Gotcha.
I don't, other than a football jig, I don't like the line tie to be sideways. I don't have an answer for it. I can't tell you why, but I don't. But the whole deal with that jig is I wanted something in between, like a true finesse jig and, a real jig, a standard jig. And I wanted to have the finesse cut silicone, a light wire hook, but still a big enough hook to have enough bite. And, I wanted it also because we had the opportunity to make it lead or tungsten, and I wanted to stick with lead because obviously lead is bigger than tungsten. And I wanted to be able to skip it. So the more surface area you have, the better it's going to skip. And not only that, the more surface area you have, the better it's going to sit on the bottom and not roll over. And that's the reason I stuck with making it lead. And man, my number one is the 1/4 ounce. We have a 1/4, a 3/8, and a half. And when we first started the project, my buddy John at Greenfish said, "Hey, we need to make a 1/4 also." I only wanted to make a 3/8 and a half. I was like, man, we don't need that. But, if you want to do it, we'll do it.
Now you're smashing them on the 1/4 ounce.
At the Classic this year, I started out with a half. I went down to a 3/8, and then I wound up on the 1/4, and I fell in love with it.
Interesting.
If I'm less than 10 foot of water, 1/4 ounce.
I've been on that 1/4 ounce jig lately too, man. I'm putting a tube behind it. I don't know if you ever mess with that deal.
Yeah.
But that 1/4 ounce and that flutter and that I like it.
Yeah. It's a special deal. I mean, not only is it a slower fall, but like when you're it doesn't matter what you're fishing, but rocks and wood especially, it doesn't get hung up nearly as bad.
It's more slithering. Through there. Hey.
Yeah, it doesn't get buried down in the rocks and stuff nearly as bad.
Heck yeah. The Bryan new jig. It's a deal, bud. Hey, want to remind we got to give stuff away still. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to do all that. But before we do this, Bryan, and I know you got to drive ahead of you. I need to ask you.
Oh, hey.
I got to ask you, bud. Like, what's your perfect future of bass fishing? What's Bryan New's perfect future of bass fishing?
All right, so the perfect future would be I'll go to Heartwood 2 weeks and win.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty awesome.
I like that.
And then I'll go to Lake Murray and catch a lot of striper this winter.
Okay.
And then we'll go down, I'll say a top 10 at Okeechobee, win at Seminole, win at Murray while I'm sleeping in my home bed, and then win at Santee, and then just top 10 the rest of them.
I got you. So 3 dubs, 4 dubs.
Let me back up.
up.
Yeah. We go to Knoxville and get us a gold trophy.
There you go.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm with you.
You said perfect. That would be perfect.
That's a perfect
and, hey,
future.
I'm not even going to say win every tournament makes it perfect.
I know you took 5 of them.
Yeah. I want to win at Seminole because that place is very special to me.
And you won there
Obviously,
before.
I want to win the Classic because it's the Classic and it's special to everybody. I want to win in my own on my home lake, staying in my own house, and I want to win at Santee because it's close enough to my house and that place is special as well. I just want a top 10 after that.
That's not much to ask for, Bryan. That's not a lot.
And I'm pretty sure I'll get an AOY if I do that.
Yeah, and what I like about all that is party at Bryan New's house after all these victories.
I tell you right now, if I do all that, there'll be a party.
Yeah, we're having a good time, buddy. You know what I mean? We're gonna see some space aliens this time for real. We're gonna walk through both those trees. You know what I mean? We don't care.
Absolutely.
We don't care. That's a damn good future, bud. Hey, so all right, I'm giving away. This is a big deal tonight. So just because your buddy Austin Felix kind of upped the bar, now I feel I got to do things, and of course you got to do stuff too. So
right.
Yeah. So now I'm giving away a Revo STX, and you're giving away a Fitzgerald rod. And all
Yep.
everybody had to do was like and share. Should we give him one more second? Let's give him one more second, Brian. Like and share.
right.
If you're ever watching now and you haven't done it, like and share the live Facebook feed for a chance to win a rod and reel combo from Stray Casts and Brian New. All right. So, Andy, can you get it to Brian? Will he be able to see it when it's on this deal? When you complicute him? All right. So Andy's tallying them up.
All right.
All right. And he's gonna. All right. You got it. Are you gonna send it over to him? Can you still read it, Brian, when you're on your phone in the car, or no?
Yeah. He may just have to send it. Right now, I'm not seeing anything, but
Send it again so
Having
it pops
sent it.
up, Ginge. Maybe he'll see the winner. And then,
got it.
okay. All right. So, all right. So it's there. Now, what do you want? You want a fanfare? You want a drum roll? What do you want, Brian?
Oh, let's go. I don't know, something good. Drum roll's kind of played out.
Okay.
Not played out, but it gets played a lot.
Okay. All right.
Give me something spicy.
Something spicy. I like. Ah.
There we go.
Yes. House of the Dragons. Hear he. Brian New is here to announce the winner of the Revo Abu Garcia STX and the Fitzgerald rod.
Bobby Colson.
Yeah. Bobby Colson.
Yeah, man.
You freaking won.
That's a pretty good deal. Congratulations, dude. That's that's over a $400 value.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than a jersey. Come on.
Okay, there it is. He one-upped Austin Felix. We heard it right there, didn't we? He one-upped him right there. Boom. What happened, Ginge? Oh, you looked mad. Andy's mad. What did you do, Brian?
He didn't win.
Yeah, Andy didn't win. He's mad. Oh, God. All right, dude. Hey, you got a big year coming up. A big year.
I'm looking forward to it, man. This schedule it's on point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
5
think
wins.
the Sabine River's the best. Just 5. That's not much.
Yeah.
We got 5 out of 10. You know.
You can't complain with that, dude. Hey, start with Hartwell.
No.
Start with Hartwell. Win that and move on from there. How's that for a plan?
Yes.
How's that for a plan?
Yeah. Hey, if I do good at Hartwell, I'll qualify for the Elites again.
There you go. That might help somebody, right?
Yeah. So I really don't know how that would work, but
I don't either. Hey, we got into
I
the
wanna
Great
do
Wide
it.
Opens.
I want to
They
do
know.
it just to say I've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You could be
that-
one of them doubles.
Yeah, I'm third in the points. So, and I know Joyce Fuentes and Brandon Lester, I'm pretty sure they're tied for first. So, which makes me third.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So hopefully me and Brandon Lester both stay up there. Maybe he'll finish second and I'll win. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
There it is. There it is. Hey, and we got the Opens guys coming up next. So they're going to talk all about the qualifying for the Into the Great Wide Opens. It's cutthroat, Brian. You know. It's where you came from. It's where you came from. Hey.
Yeah. So
I got to tell you,
Go
bud.
for it.
I got to tell you this. Thank you so much to you and your family for always being so cool to Stray Casts. Whenever we see you on the road, bud, or whenever we call you, Brittany, the whole family, you're all so cool to us, and we appreciate that.
hey, y'all are part of our family. It's always a pleasure being on here. It's always an honor being on here. It's always a damn good time being on here, and I'll do it every day of my life.
Yeah, and you and I are talkers. So, like, we could literally do another couple hours. Gingy's going to lose the rest of the hair
for sure.
that he's got and be redder, and it'll only be us talking, but we'd have a damn good time, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You know, if you're not having a good time in your life, you're doing something the wrong way.
There it is, bud. Hey, and thanks for coming on here again, and it's been a pleasure. And I'll see you in November. I'm coming your way in November.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna smash something out there. We're gonna catch some
Yes,
biggins.
we are.
Biggins, bud.
Absolutely.
Bass Galaxy, give it
sure
up
will.
for Bassmaster Elite Series champion. That never gets old, does it? It's Brian New.
No, it doesn't.
It's Brian New.
Hey, remember, don't suck. Whatever you're doing, Mike, don't suck.
Don't
at it.
suck. Whatever you do. Hashtag don't suck. Thanks, Bry. Say hi to everybody.
All right. Will do. See you,
Peace.
bud.
Yes. Bass Galaxy. That was fun. That's Brian New. He's in his car in a Walmart parking lot. That's the magic of a bass fishing talk show. And he's going to go after a guy that owes him $10K for a boat. How do you like that, Ginge? I like that. Hey, it's into the Great Wide Opens. Brad Leuthner's bringing in a whole bunch. Yeah, he's got Alex and Jordan, and they're going to talk about life in the Bassmaster Opens. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
As a professional angler, I rely on my equipment to be successful on the water, and my eyewear is no exception. Oh, yep, good one. 6-pounder, 7-pounder. From daylight till dark, every single day of my life, in the truck, on the water. My Amphibia eye gear provide 100% polarized protection. They're ANSI safety rated for impact, and best of all, they float.
What's that, JT?
Here we go. All right, we're on.
What's that,
Jason?
JT?
We're doing things. I got a double Brad Leuthner. I'm doubling up. Welcome back. This is the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. And it is time, again, to bring back, after hiatus, it is into the Great Wide Opens with your co-host, Brad Leuthner. Hi, Brad. How are you?
I'm great. How's the Bass Galaxy doing?
The Bass Galaxy's doing really good. Like, I'm not going to kid you. The Bass Galaxy's a good place to be right now, especially for Opens guys, you know, especially for champs like JT. Look at JT down there. Look, you just look like a champ. Don't you look like a champ? Is he frozen, or is that look always on his face? I don't know. There.
No, I should be good.
Not there. He is. He's okay. And Alex, you're just a beast. We know that about you. A new Bassmaster Elite Series angler. Hi, bud.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Thanks for having
bud.
me on.
Hey, bud. Yeah, it's right there. Ginger, are you okay back there? Gingy, Andrew Ellenberger, snap out of it. For crying out loud. This is into the great wide opens. Pet some pep in the step because this is a big deal. What's happening here is next year you have to fish 9 events, right? 9 events, guys. I mean, that's Brad. Yeah, and that's JT down there. You got to fish 9 events if you want to be an elite like the bud over there, like Alex. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. And with that being said, I'm unleashing the lion. I'm stepping out. Now Brad Leuthner, old BC, he's the coxswain. You know what a coxswain is, guys? A coxswain is the driver of the ship. And with that being said to you, Bass Galaxy, give it up for your co-host, the one and only, Brad Leuthner. Yes, old BC. Take it away, Brad. I'm taking a break. I'm going to go get my tournament clothes on and make some filet mignon, and I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
Sounds great, Pat. Well, my first objective tonight is going to be asking JT how he slayed that dragon we call Chesapeake, Upper Chesapeake River up in Maryland. I got my butt whooped there, but I mean, that is, if you don't know the Bass Galaxy, that is the toughest place on planet Earth to catch a bass. So JT, how did you go about, getting that W up there?
I don't know. I mean, I've fished tidal waters my whole life, and I live on probably the second toughest body of water there is. So tough bodies of water just click with me, grinding it out. So between that and tidal waters, I don't know. I just understood when I went there. I actually went there 2 days in pre-practice before Oneida, and all I did was scan, and I found the right stuff offshore, and then also found the right type of rock on some riprap banks with the right depth and stuff, even on low tide. So whenever I found that, I kind of knew that was going to be like what I wanted to do. And then that was just grinding it out and putting baits in your hand that you were confident with, because you kind of got to do that with tough tournaments. You got to have, your confidence baits that you feel like you can just go anywhere in the world and catch a fish. You got to do that, then also find high concentrations of fish, and then figure out the tides and timing. That's what the whole entire deal is. There is timing for the most part. And I grew up understanding that type of stuff.
So you pretty much just ruled out the huge grass flat. If no one knows about, but the Upper Chesapeake has a grass flat in it that's the size of Texas, it seems like. You just stayed away from there and concentrated on your little rock program, or?
Actually, the opposite. In pre-practice, I found all that stuff, and I knew I could catch fish there without even practicing on it. I never even made a cast on it in pre-practice or nothing, and I just knew it was going to be good. So every single day of practice, I went to the flats every single day, and I practiced out there scanning it, just looking for one little depression, one little ditch, one something that I could pull up and catch 5 for go 15 in a row. So look at that the entire week, and I never found it. And actually, I spent the first 2 days of the tournament, I probably spent 4 hours both days out there in the flats trying to catch a fish, and I only caught 2 out there in those 8 hours of fishing in the first 2 days. So I actually wasted a bunch of time out there in the flats thinking I could have got it done, but it just never worked out. And luckily enough, I had all that stuff scanned in the Upper Chesapeake and ended up working out. So actually I did a lot of time in the flats.
Well, that's cool. What were your top producers, and tell everyone what it's like to win one of those trophies? That's quite an accomplishment for such a young man.
Yeah, it's like a dream come true, especially with bass. Like, I won a Toyota Series last year, and yeah, the Toyota Series championship's pretty nice, and the trophy and the money is all nice. But whenever you win in bass, that's like it almost is like it's so much bigger. I feel like, because you get to go to the Classic, and there's so much more coverage and everything. And I love MLF too, but man, that bass win was just completely different ball game. And it still hasn't set in with me that I'm going to the Classic. So I'm just super excited. I don't think it's going to set in until I cross that Classic stage, to be honest. So I really can't tell you what it feels like. I just know I want to do it again. So I don't know.
So on the other side of the spectrum, we have Alex, who qualified first in the Northerns and was going to super tough fishery up there in Chesapeake. I'm really interested. What was your game plan, Alex, when you got up there, and how did it play out for you?
So I spent a few weekends leading up to that event, going down there and trying to learn the flat. And similar to JT, like I just like I could not catch them out there. You know what made it even more difficult for me was a couple weeks before official practice, when I was up there on one of those weekends, I had a really good day out there, and it seemed like each weekend that I ended up going up there, even if I could only go for like one day, it seemed like the fishing got tougher and tougher and tougher. And so I just was like, okay, I started to lose confidence that I could go and catch those fish out there. So by the time official practice rolled around, I had actually, I'd say the first day I gave it one more shot. And then after that, I just completely ruled it out. And I said, you know what, if someone wins out here, God bless them, because I can't catch it.
Yeah, so what, I mean, to qualify for the elites has to be a dream. I mean, what's going through your head right now? How are you preparing for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, similar to JT, I don't think it's like fully set in yet. I think probably not until the first national anthem for both of us is it really going to set in. But yeah, I'm the reality is setting in, like, financially, right? And so you have to get sponsors in order, and you have to figure that end of things out. And thankfully, I do have some companies that I've already been working with, and hoping to find some new ones to work with as well. But yeah, now you're talking about practice and the time away from home and trying to figure out the schedule, and it's a lot. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's absolutely a dream come true, and it's a good problem to be figuring out right now for me. So
no doubt. You talk about practice. What are you guys thinking about the new upcoming season for the Opens? You're not gonna have to worry about it, Alex. You're pretty lucky.
I'm so happy I don't have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let JT go first. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. Like, I guess I'm kind of getting the reputation of, like, I'm known to kind of go to these places for like a month at a time and just scan, and like I put 500 to 600 hours on a motor every year. Like, I'm known to put in a lot of work. So next year we're gonna have 4 days of practice, but these last
No.
Oh, we just lost him.
We lost JT. He's out.
Man, peace out. Hopefully he'll come back.
Alex, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, you qualified through one division, which is, I mean, I've been fishing the Opens for, this is my second season. I've done one tour last year, so I just did the Northerns. This year I did the Southerns and the Northerns, and the more I dig into it, the harder I see it is qualifying through one division. So I'm pretty excited about the new rule change. I think it'll give some other people opportunities. What do you think about it?
I mean, I got a lot of thoughts on it, but I think overall it's good. It definitely depends on where you stand on the matter, and there's a lot of very strong opinions online right now about it. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I used to, usually I would do two divisions, and actually this year I got waitlisted for the Southerns, so I could only do the Northerns, and so I was like, all right, it has to happen in this division, but I would have rather had two opportunities to do it, but. Yeah, I mean, I think the financial side of things, I might not agree with everyone on. I think from a skill level, and I think from a schedule and a location standpoint, I think whoever qualifies will absolutely, earn their way and prove the fact that they can fish anywhere, which, I think now more than ever is going to be very important going into the Elite Series and having guys qualify. So. And what I really am happy about that I think they did right is the off limits for practice. I think that's going to be very good, especially leading up to the elites where it's the same exact format.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of, I don't practice much. I live a long ways away from every place, and you hear about all these guys being there for a month or 2 months, and it's kind of overwhelming to me. But you're right. When you make the elites, I mean, you have to get it done in 3 days. That's just what it is. So I look forward to it. I think it's a pretty equal schedule. I don't think, it's kind of nice. There's no tidal water fishery in it, which good or bad for me. But yeah, it should be an interesting year for sure. I mean, it's quite a grind though, doing all 9. It's going to be a hard feat, but looking forward to it for sure. So
Yeah.
what preparation? So you're getting ready, you're getting some new sponsors, I mean, what was your going into Chesapeake? How did you approach that? I mean, you're right there on the bubble going in there. Were you playing it safe, or were you fishing like normal, or how was that going?
So I had multiple game plans. I had a game plan to just go get a limit, and I had a game plan to try to win the event. And I knew I had to have multiple plans, not only because of how tough it was, but also just because of in the past, I have had just things happen, whether sometimes it's in my control, sometimes it's outside. And, my mindset kind of going into it was, okay, what's going to happen this time around that's going to potentially stop me from qualifying, right? Like in the past, I've hit something on my lower unit. Another time I had an engine blow up. Another time I had I think a 4th and a 6th and then a 128. And, so it's like, okay, I need to just do well enough to get a check, I feel like, and I should be able to qualify. But of course, you don't want to shoot for that. And then,
Oh man, now I lost Alex.
Oh no, I don't know what's going on. We're dropping like flies.
Oh, good. JT's back. So JT, what do you think about the new schedule, the new rule changes, and how is that going to affect your travel and plans? And
sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I'm stoked. Like, I don't know. I'm like I said before, just make it quick. I'm known to like spend a lot of time in these places. I put 500 hours on a motor. I put into my time, but like my last few events, I've only put in 4 days of practice, 3 days of practice, and they've been my best events. So I feel super confident going into next year because I feel like a lot of the tournaments that I've put in super long practices, it's hurt me like a lot. But the main reason I'm doing it is I'm putting in a lot of practice is not for the opens. It's for when I get to the elites that I already have all these lakes scanned out and I don't have to sit there and scan during the tournament because scanning takes up a lot of time in practice. And if I can get to the elites and not have to scan anymore and just put a rod in my hand, that'll be huge. So like next year, I'm going to be going to pre-practice and stuff. And, 4 days of practice, I think is going to help my overall standings.
Yeah.
With
So
not having so much on my plate.
yeah, that's awesome. So you're doing all 9 this year?
Yes.
Yeah. So financially, it'll be about the same. And how did it change after you win? After you won, do you eat Red Lobster all the time, or you're still going through the Burger King, or how's that going?
No, I mean I live in a camper. Like I'm in a camper right now, so like I mean I just kind of cook every night. So it's not going to change for me. Like it's going to be the same old, same old. I'm going to keep it all the same, keep practices the same. My mindset's definitely changed. I'm going for the win now because I don't really have much to lose. My Northerns was the only trail I really was close in, and ended up messing that up with Oneida with a little mishap the second day. So, I'm just going to go into these last few events and just try to do as good as I possibly can, and I'm going to shoot for the win in all of them, just see what I can do. So nothing's really changed, just kind of fishing free the rest of the year, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you're super young. How old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20 and already won an open. Like, how did you keep your composure the last day? I was watching you guys, and you were very composed. I was impressed.
I don't know how to explain it, but like, I guess I've already got a taste of it last year. I was lucky enough to have a pretty good opportunity and win a Toyota Series in that last day. I mean, I had some jitters and I learned how to work through it and, just keep on moving. So I guess this tournament, it was kind of nice because last tournament I had 11-pound lead going into the last day, and this time I had an 11-pound deficit going the last day. So it's just a big flip-flop of tournaments. So I was actually able to fish a lot more free this tournament the last day than the last tournament on the last day. So it's pretty sweet.
honestly. Yeah, I mean, for all the viewers, I mean, last year I got lucky enough to make a top 10 and had a camera guy in the boat, and that was a first for me. And I'm probably a first for you the other day, or a couple weeks ago. I mean, that adds a whole different component. I mean, that's
big time.
Did you feel extra pressure, or did you just love it?
I don't know. I loved it. Like, I loved every second of it. Like, it was just like the most fun I've ever had. Like, that was probably the most fun day on the water I ever had. I had the coolest cameraman ever, and it was super cool because it was my mom's birthday, so I got to tell her happy birthday on live. So that a lot of cool stuff that was going on that day. It was probably the best day of fishing I've had and maybe ever have. So I was just super blessed to be there and experience that. So it's pretty sick.
Did getting a limit really help a lot?
What?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had 3 3-pounders in the first 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then like 2 1/2-pounders. And then I was able to go the rest of the day. And I probably caught 17 keepers that last day of the tournament. And I probably threw back 5 fish over 2.5 pounds. I mean,
were you on the upper Chesapeake, or how did you catch all those bass? You must have been locking to a different lake somewhere.
No, I was just like fishing community banks, honestly. Like the same banks, all the riprap banks that everybody else was fishing. I was just fishing that, and those fish were just steady pulling to it, and it was just understanding how the fish set up and when. Like, that was the main thing, was when. Like, I understood when, after the first 2 days, I was starting to understand when those offshore fish bit, and when the riprap fish bit, and the seawall fish bit, and I was able to cycle them. So it was pretty sweet.
So most of our viewers probably have never fished a tidal water fishery. I'm pretty limited to it. I mean, I've fished the James twice now, upper Chesapeake. What were you keen? What tide was working best for you? And it kind of explained the tide to the people, because no one quite gets that.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to grow up on one, and my 2 best finishes this year was like a 14th on James and then a first at Chesapeake. So Tidewaters, I understand them. So basically, the way I always try to do it is, first of all, you got to find the structure. Like, it depends on where your structure's at. If you find really good structure, you got to understand the depth and everything and how they move to it. So basically, on that offshore wood, that they were just fished so many fish there. The tide didn't matter a ton. It was more of a time of the day deal for those fish. Like, early in the morning, they seemed to bite really good. But as a whole, in tidal water fishing, if you have super, super shallow water cover, you want to fish that on high tide. Then if you got like deeper cover off a bank that has structure shallow, and you want that on falling water or low water. And typically falling water is better for quantity and rising water is better for size. And because typically with more water going over a fish's head, especially during spawn, it makes the fish more comfortable as well.
Mm.
And that makes the bigger fish bite, but falling makes the smaller fish more quantity. So basically, it's all about where your structure's at and how and what makes that structure more advantageous, what tide. So basically, shallow water high, and then deep water you want it low. And then after that, you kind of, what I do, I find all my structure, I label the depth and stuff like that, kind of figure out what depth range it's at. Then I kind of adjust all that to the tide that I like for that. And then in practice, I run those certain things during certain tides, and I kind of see if I'm right or wrong. And typically, you're pretty accurate, and you'll end up seeing the windows open up at your place. Like, wherever you're fishing, you'll see the bite windows. And then you just slowly figure it out in the tournament. And a lot of it's a guessing game. And it's just like anything else. Like, you'll get better at guessing the more you guess right.
Yeah. So did you, sorry for interrupting. Did you guys, what I noticed the only 2 days I fished the tournament is the tide was high.
Mm-hmm.
And never really fell out. And then when it fell out, it really fell out, and really it affected the areas I had. Like, I was fishing shallow, and they just weren't there, I don't think, or weren't biting. So you kind of had a game plan where the tide didn't matter quite as much. Alex, did you see that too, or no?
Yeah, I definitely saw that. not exactly sure if it was the wind or what it was that was kind of keeping that tide in for a little bit longer than normal. And then it was falling. And of course, low tide was at like the absolute end of the day. So if you got a late number and you had a couple extra hours, that was really, really crucial, I think.
Yeah, that tournament, it was all the moon phase. We had a full moon, and that's what messed it all up. That was the whole thing there. Because for some reason, bass loves putting tidal waters near full moons, which is the worst time to fish a tide. Because James River this year was on a full moon. James River last year was on a full moon. So every single time we fished a tidal water, it's been near a full or new moon. And that just tears the tides up. Like, it just flip-flops them, makes them either super, super high or super, super low. Like at James River this year, they were spawning, and of course, the full moon made it an extra foot low. Like if you notice, there was some people stuck on a sandbar coming around one of them corners going to pick a hominy because it was just a foot lower than normal. So yeah, for some reason, we're always on a full moon, and that really messed me up the first 2 days. Big time.
Yeah, I don't mind the full moon and the tide when they're spawning; they're a little more predictable. But yeah, this thing threw me for a curve for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was awful.
Hey,
the first 2 days.
Hey guys, I want to ask you something here, or I want to make a statement. Sorry to barge in.
You're welcome, Pat.
Yeah, I was eating good downstairs and enjoying some opens talking, and I realize now why both of these guys are in the position that they're in. Is because they're so dang smart. Like,
yeah.
You guys are smart as can be. Like, Alex, congratulations again on achieving, let's just call it a dream, okay?
Huge.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and
Thank you. I don't know what led you to believe that, though. I don't know what led you to believe that. I'm smart.
I enjoy your sarcasm. Hey, and Jordan, JT, dude, you're a freaking champ. Like, I'm listening to you talk about title stuff and, the bigs bite on this water. What was it? The bigs bite on the falling water?
Typically, I've always noticed like a rising water.
Rising
you don't
water.
Get
Sorry.
Hardly, yeah, rising water. You don't get nearly as many bites, but they seem to be a little bit better sized.
Those
and
are the
falling
bigs.
waters. Typically, there's size too. There's also size in falling water, but it seems like quantity is a big deal in falling.
See, you're
falling's the best.
You're smart that you're able to. That's what separates, like, amazing anglers from, let's just say, good anglers. Like, being able to figure shit out. Let's just be plain and simple about it. Like, some guys just go out there and chunk and wind, and every once in a while they'll run into a mess of them. You know what I mean? But the guys that think about how they are catching them, and think about why the fish was there, and think about what made that fish eat, and think about how I won that tournament on the Chesapeake, and you break it down, and then Alex breaks down his season. He's like, this is how I became an elite. And why I'm saying all this is because, first off, Brad, amazing job tonight as your first grabbing the reins. You know what I mean? And second off, I must confess, I gotta tell these guys here, Brad, that I have ulterior motives of having these open. Yeah, I gotta tell them. So JT and Alex, I want my friend Brad to be an elite. So I want all you champs and all you successful opens guys just to rub all that mojo juju off on him. You know what I mean? We got lots of horses in the opens. We want them all to make the opens. You know what I mean? Yeah, we do. It's a crazy world out there, and you guys are living it in these opens. It's nuts. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah, I think JT might have some extra room in that camper.
He got some spots. Yeah. Hey, so any opens angler that's struggling and needs a place to stay, just get a hold of JT on the Instagram. And he's got plenty of room for you in the camper, right? Isn't that right?
I even took a hostage this week. I got Eric Berlowski or something.
Yeah, I know Eric B.
Name,
yeah,
Eric,
he's a catfish hunter. He's a catfish hunter.
Yeah, I got him
that
held
kid.
hostage in here right about now. He's laying down on the floor in there.
If you need to know how to catch a goonch, he knows the deal. He knows the deal on the goonches. But hey, what's going on? Are you guys? Are you at the derb for tomorrow then, JT? That starts tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The Red River.
Yeah, I like that Red River. I'm a river rat myself. You know, and a lot of times my experience. He's breaking up. Is that you? Is he there?
Oh, we lost him again.
He went.
I'm here.
He went Dame Gato, Mr.
What?
Roboto. Hey, so here's the deal. Red River, bud. Before you go to bed, JT, you go on the what the hell just happened here? Are you on the sunroof? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Sorry.
I thought it was that movie Hills Have Eyes and people were coming in the top of the camper. That might happen too while you're sleeping. But before you go to bed, I want you to go watch Lynn Dollar on YouTube. Okay? Lynn Dollar on YouTube and look at the Dion Hibden Red River. It's just fun. It's just fun. All right? And then also it's old FLW derbs. These are old derbs. But look at the difference in the Red River between then and now, and plus I think you'll enjoy the footage. You'll be like, those guys used to watch this stuff like this. That's what it'll be like. But it's fun. It'll be fun. I promise. Alex, you ever watch Lynn Dollar channel?
I haven't, no. But if JT wins another one now, are you getting a cut of that?
Well, I should. I think so.
I would think so too.
That would only be apropos, but for this situation. But no, Lynn Dollar is an amazing YouTube channel. I don't even know who he is, but he has all old derbs on it. And dude, I got to tell you, every time I watch a Lynn Dollar deal from he's got them from like the 80s or 70s even, all the way up to recent times, to like the 2006 elites basically. And you learn something every time. You really do. Every time you watch those old tournaments, you learn something. And Red River's cool, dude.
It's definitely a neat place. Yeah. Tough, but neat.
It's cool. Something else. Hey, Brad, what do we got? Well, let's wrap this deal up.
Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah. How'd you like doing this your first time on your own?
I was a little nervous, but got the hang of it.
Did he do
awesome?
Did he do okay, Alex?
Yeah, he did all right.
Did he do
all right? I think I'd give him an A-.
A-. Wow.
Oh, good. I've never got a grade that good before.
That's really good. JT, how did he do? What are you giving him?
Oh, he did great.
Okay.
If I hadn't cut out so much, it probably would have been a little easier for him. But yeah, we got this Freeport service here, so it's great.
Hey, you're doing all right, and congratulations again to both of you guys, man, for a bang-up job this year on the Bassmaster Opens. Alex, we look forward to seeing lots of you next year, and JT, your time to shine is coming, bud. You're going to the Bassmaster Classic. Yikes!
Yeah. Alex stole my northern spot this year.
All right, if you guys want to have a bass fight, we can do it live. I'll arrange it. And you guys just brawl on the air. That would be fun. Hey, Bass Galaxy, give it up for these Bassmaster Opens and Elite Series angling. Yes. Yes. Heck yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And just keep winning. Alex, you win a derb, you're on again immediately. Boom, that's your ticket to Straight Cast. You win an Elite Series derb, you're in.
Okay, done deal.
Yeah, and I go ahead and win tomorrow. Quit screwing around, JT. Just go ahead and back-to-back it, bro. Back-to-back open it.
Oh, I'm shooting for it. Yeah. I had a pretty deep practice. I'm ready to get out there and see if I can wing a frog around and catch a few.
Back-to-back it. Hey, I got to give away a Berkeley prize still. You guys want to stick around for a second while I do this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Ginge, can you text me the Berkeley Bandit? Let's see. Well, we're giving away a Berkeley Fun Pack. I don't know exactly how fun it is or what's in it, but all they had to do was like and share the deal. Oh, okay. That's easy to remember because I just talked to a guy with the same last name about the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Hey, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame is October 6th. Aaron Martin's getting what do you call that? Inaugurated? Inducted. Yes, I said the wrong word. Inducted. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brad. That's why you're a host, Brad, and I just a guy that talks.
Not just a pretty face.
Yeah. It's not just a pretty face. Hey, I have a goatee now, Brad. See that?
I like it.
Yeah, I got some first time ever in all these years I've ever had a goatee. Yes. You know why I have one? Because Clun has one. I'm like, you know what? If Clun has one, I'm growing a goatee. You know what I mean, Alex? It makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. Are you watching him on some of those old YouTube videos?
Dude, okay, here's the one. If you're not going to watch the Red River, you go watch the Mississippi River 2000, the year 2000. Alex, hear me. Mississippi River,
I'm listening.
FLW 2000. It's freaking amazing. It's amazing. It's that one. It's South Mississippi. It's like over there in the bayou country, you know?
Okay.
Hot air, dodo, hey. All right, Ginge, let's give it away. What are you giving me? Fanfare, drum roll, what is it? Aha! I like it. Yeah. The Opens competitors and myself. Oh, and Bassmaster Elite Series Angler, Alex. I got to keep doing that. I keep saying Opens, guys. Anyway.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I know, dude, it's amazing. You'll never get tired of hearing that. You're a freaking Elite Series Angler. You know what I mean? That's freaking nuts. Hey, the prize winner is Adam Bowman. No relation to Steve Bowman, or he would be disqualified. Adam Bowman won the Berkeley Bonanza Extravaganza Pack. So all you have to do is direct message Rock and Shoal Fantasy, and that's old J.R. Ewing, on the Straycast Bookface page, and boom, pow, kaping, kapow, you won some Berkeley stuff. See how easy that is? It's the magic of a bass and talk show. Hey, JT, be careful tomorrow. All right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Be careful. Catch a bunch of fish, capture many, give thanks, be bountiful, be plentiful. All right? Brad, all right, what are you doing? You're in a jacuzzi, you're in a hot tub, you're doing something? It's a wood thing?
I have to work for a couple days, then I'm heading next week down to Hartwell. So I'm going to go visit Brian New for a day or two. I think I'm going to go meet up with Matt Robertson on the way. So
Careful.
Probably not behave that well, I guess.
Well, be careful, all right?
Yeah.
We're running out of bails bondsmen. You know, that's all I can say. Alex, what are you doing?
What am I doing tomorrow? I'm going back to work.
Going back to work.
Going back to work.
You got to do it until you start winning old blues
That's
and you
right.
start stacking them on the mantle.
Right.
All right,
Yep.
bud. Hey, well, it's nice to meet you guys, and I'll see y'all on the road to happy destiny. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Give it up one more time for these guys right here. Bass Opens and Bassmaster Elite Series. That's the deal. Thanks, buds. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, peace.
And thank you, Brad, and good luck, JT.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys. This is awesome.
There it is. Into the great wide opens. Into the skies of blue. There it is, Ginge. We did another show. Got another one down. Next week, it's Takumi Ito and Brian Schmidt coming on next week. Ready to do it. Heck yeah, there you are, Ginge. Hey, let's get the heck out of here. What do you think? Okay, we're back. Hey, before we get out of here, we would like to... what happened? What is going on? Why? What is happening here? This is a functionalian? A male flunking? Why is my talking funny now? Is the tape rewinding? Holy cow, Ginge. Can you just tap your hands? Can you do something? What happened? Craziness. Hey, Omnia Fishing, thank you for your support of Straycast. We got a cool thing coming up with Omnia. Stay tuned. I think that's in October coming up. It's after Palaniuk. Palaniuk's October 12th. And then we got something going on with Omnia Berkeley. Should be fun. Power pull. We power pull down for pleasure. Thank you so much. Crestliner, Abu Garcia Berkeley, Ichikawa Fishing, Sims, Tin Cup Whiskey, Alpha Angler, Half a Spot Official, Dan Bravarni from Bravarni Jigs. Oh, yeah. He's a legend. Impulse Lithium. Loving it. Amphibia Eye Gear and Bite Me Tackle. Hey, I'm Pat Renwick. Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. We're out of here. See you next week with Takumi and Brian Schmidt. Peace.